Shields up, Iron Breakers, and welcome back to another edition of the Kast. It's been a hot minute. How are you doing, cowboy?
Oh, been better. Been better. I'm fighting off. Did you know viral pink eye is a thing?
Oh my God, you have pink eye?
I have viral pink eye, which is extra fun. So everyone, listen to this. Everyone in my house was getting sick. Like my mother-in-law had COVID. One of my kids had an ear infection. My wife had the flu. I'm like, what is going on? And I was avoiding all of it. I was like, I'm recording. I'm going to the gym.
You were like Agent Smithing it. Like,
yeah, dude, I was dodging pathogens. And then Thursday, I'm at the gym and I'm doing like squats and rack pulls. And I'm like, this feels really hard today. And I'm like profusely sweating. And I'm like, oh no, I think it caught up to me. So I go home to like shower, rest a little bit. And then that night, suddenly both eyes, full blown pink eye. I'm like, what the fuck? And so my first thing is, I'm thinking the kids must have done something. They're probably, you know how toddlers are. He's probably rubbing his ass on my pillow because he thinks it's funny. And I go in and they're like, no, this isn't bacterial. This is they're like, this looks like adenovirus because you're testing negative for COVID and flu. And I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, it presents very similar to the flu, but a common side effect is you get viral conjunctivitis. And I'm like, so I just get pink eye? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can I get like drops or anything for this? And they're like, no, it's viral, so you just gotta wait for it to go away. I'm
just gotta wait it out.
What the fuck?
That's actually,
I just get to deal with crusty eyes for like 4 days.
That's actually interesting because another content creator that I follow from the US also has gotten pink eye recently. So it is something that's going around over there. That's
Dude,
crazy.
I didn't like, because every time you hear about pink eye, it's like, oh, you must have been eating ass or something.
Yeah, of course.
It's never, I didn't even know you could get a viral strain of pink eye that you just need to wait for it to leave.
It's funny because I do get some stuff in my eyes, but usually it's stress related. But like one of my eyes every now and then just like swells up randomly. But it is because I notice that it's only when I'm really, really stressed. I had it recently. So yeah, I have stuff in my eyes as well. It's messed up.
I have been just potato mode basically since last Thursday. So we're going on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, we're going on almost a week of being a potato, and like that's I'm used to like 4 days a week in the gym, eating right, and I've just been sitting here like, I guess I'll eat some ice cream because I'm sick. It's not.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not going to be working out this week either. So we're actually recording this significantly earlier, like 1 week before this video actually comes out. So yeah, this week I'm also going to be away, and I'm going to go to Belgium, and I'm going to play that WTC Kill Team thing. The World Teams Championship for Kill Team. We're the only Portuguese team. We didn't get any sponsorships or anything. We have to go by our own dime. So yeah, it's fantastic. We're gonna have a blast, but not a whole lot of content's gonna be happening throughout this week. But by the time you see this video, content should be happening because where did they talk about Mortal Shell 2? Now, this one to me was incredibly surprising when the beta came out because like this game wasn't even in my radar. To be quite honest, it wasn't even in my radar simply because I played the first one and I'm like, it was fine. It's okay. A little bit short, I felt like, because I went back and I watched my my videos of it. I think I completed the game in 3 streams, which is pretty crazy. But then again, I probably didn't do everything.
It's not long. I want to say.
Yeah,
let me check. I was looking this up the other day. I think the walkthrough I did for it's like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one was kind of short. I don't think it was too expensive though. I think it was priced more like an indie title. So it was interesting, but it wasn't really something that stuck with me like, oh, this is amazing. I can't wait for the second one. I was just like, oh, I played it. It was okay.
Yeah, the walkthrough, the 100% walkthrough was 9 episodes that were about 30 minutes each. So that's what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not even 5 hours to 100% the game. So yeah, it's short.
It was fairly short, but the thing is when the beta came out for this one, I was like, well, I guess I'll check the beta just out of curiosity. Then I started playing the beta and I was like, no, wait a minute. Now hold on. They're cooking something here. And I got excited for it. I started getting excited after playing through the beta. I think it's really cool that they show you that first boss in the beta as well. That boss is so hilarious.
Yeah.
The lady in the friggin' wheelchair just like going through with flames and stuff. I was like, what the hell is this game, dude? I mean, I think they showed it in the trailer, but I wasn't expecting the boss to be quite like that, and it really was like that. So it was interesting. And we only had one shell in the beta, I think, right? We only had teal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
only teal.
The beta only had one shell. That made me get interested. How did you feel about the beta before we jump into the final game?
Probably the thing that impressed me the most was just the diversity of the bosses we were seeing, because you had like the dude right out the gate, that big guy with the sword, and he was fainting swings if you parried him too much, which I was like, okay, For Honor, calm down there. And then you had like the illusion boss. I was like, this is really cool, and it's a very trippy dungeon. And then you had Angry Lady in a wheelchair, which I was like, this did not expect.
Yeah.
You had the guy with all the sheep, the demonic sheep. So I was just like, this is, to me, that's what, because even like looking at From Software, I feel like a lot of their bosses are they're very grand with like Elden Ring. Like the older games used to see some goofier stuff like Covetous Demon or like Magus. But here it reminded me more of the older Souls games where it's like, oh, this, like the boss, there's literally a puzzle to reach the one boss. And then the boss that's all about little sheep going all over, because like looking at Elden Ring, I feel like every Elden Ring boss is like, it's time to lock the fuck in because it's going to beat your ass. And this reminded me a lot more of like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, where we had a couple bosses that were like, here comes this goofy asshole. And I don't know, there's just something endearing about it where it's like, it's variety. We're not every boss is like a sweaty encounter, but there's just like diversity with them, and I really appreciated that.
I was just like hooked, for starters, on the impact, that like the sense of impact that you get from this game, because that's something that I find that a lot of times Souls likes don't get very well.
Oh, it's very visceral.
Nailed it. They absolutely, like, even just in the beta, they nailed it. And I feel like in the final game it gets even better, because then you have access to all of the weapons and all of that stuff, whereas in the beta you have very limited amounts of weapons and whatnot. But like, that was absolutely insane. And the now just switching back to the actual main game, just the overall sense of exploration, because in the beta it's very limited, the amount of things that you can actually go and explore. But when you get to the main game and you actually start exploring stuff, it reminded me a lot of, like you were saying, the original Dark Souls, like that connected world, that type of level design, all of that stuff. And you just kind of like being completely lost in there, as opposed to just having those more, kind of like obvious pathways that you're going to be like, well, if I go down this route, eventually I'm going to get to like a boss.
World design, I felt it was more like Elden Ring, just because of how open it was. Because you really are. Like, you're told, hey, go wherever you want. And like, I wandered into, so like, obviously playing the beta, what I should have done was go through Mushroom Village and go fight Wheelchair Lady. Instead, I was like, I did that in the beta, I'm going somewhere else. And so my stubborn ass wandered to, well, so there's 3 major dungeons in the first area that we could describe as like legacy dungeon equivalent, like Stormvales, instead of going to Stormvale.
Before you go any further, like, this game does have kind of like that structure, somewhat limited, not limited, somewhat similar to what Elden Ring does, in the form of like, how in Elden Ring you have those smallish dungeons that you kind of like go through. This has those as well, which is those things that are covered by like the fog thing or whatever. So this has those little smaller dungeons. Then it also has the bigger dungeons, like you said, kind of like legacy dungeons. And it also has the overworld.
The sub dungeons, the beacon dungeons, where you have to cleanse your beacon. You have to dive into the beacon.
Those are a little bit
And sometimes
bigger.
those are, they can be. I've seen some that are short. I've seen some that are long.
Yeah. True,
but so like for the legacy, like, well, taking the one from the demo, for example, you're going through this overall dungeon to reach the wheelchair boss. And on the way to the wheelchair boss, you're going to cleanse, like, I believe it's three or four beacons. And I think there's 4 beacons total. 3 of them you have to cleanse. And each of those beacons is its own, like,
mini dungeon.
Sub-dungeon. Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of exploring to do is the point. You're digging in, exploring in this game.
And the thing is, I felt like most of the times when I was exploring stuff, I would get rewarded with something. Like, it always feels like you're getting either a tar stone or something that can actually change stuff, or at least a meaningful upgrade, like one of those Ventriums or the Lacerites or whatever those things are called. I always felt like exploration was very rewarding, which is one of the reasons why the kind of like set this up. You've already played through the entire game. I haven't had enough time to play through the entire game because, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, like I'm away during kind of like the main review week for this game, unfortunately. So I forget how many hours I played, but I did enough to explore a huge chunk of the first area, and I think that I even got to teleport to like what is one of the much later game areas, because I noticed that every enemy in there was like one-shotting me, which was like something Zone of Mammon or whatever. Like, I went there, I just started going there, and I killed a couple of dudes, but I was like, I'm clearly not meant to be here right now, because every single one of these dudes is chunking me big time.
I would describe it as this. I would say you're, just to use Elden Ring terminology, because I'd say it's pretty comparable.
Yeah.
Your first zone, I think you could split it into kind of like a Limgrave, Liurnia, and Caelid, and that's Vanweld, your northern zone.
So one of the things that I actually meant to ask you, and I don't know if this is going to be relevant for a lot of people, but maybe if you guys start playing the game, maybe you guys will understand what I'm asking. But the first dungeon that you have to do, the first beacon dungeon, it is the one with the wheelchair lady, right? Because everything else needs like the cleansing thing before you can advance further, I think.
So that would be those are called gates.
Yeah, the gates.
Your mega dungeons are your gates. That would be the first. You don't have to do that though. You just need to cleanse a certain number of beacons to be able to start removing the corruption.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can go.
This is very important information.
You can go. So like I said, you have Limgrave. You basically have the equivalent of Limgrave, Liurnia, and Caelid, and then your south region, which is Mammon. Mammon would be like you're looking at Altus, Mount Gelmir, and I guess the frozen tundras.
Yeah, the high level stuff. So,
but you can go there immediately. Like if you wanted to go there and get one of the late game shells, you could do that at the start. It's insanely risky, and not knowing where beacons are, you're probably going to get your cheeks clapped 16 ways to Sunday.
Yeah,
but you can do that if you want.
But you have to cleanse a lot of beacons, I would imagine, taking into account how many ovum you get from the wheelchair lady. Because I'm assuming it has to do with the number of ovums that you get in order to.
You only need to cleanse, I believe it's 2 ovum to unlock like proper fast travel and all that. Each of your beacons that you clear, though, you get like 20 to 30 ovum out of, because or excuse me, not beacons, gates. Your gates are considered. Yeah, your gates are your major ovum sources, and so the idea is you got to clear all 6 of those gates, and that's going to be like those 6 gates are going to be 75 to 80% of the ovum you need, and then the remaining quarter is going to be from dungeons throughout the world.
And by the way, for people that are listening, they're talking about ovums. Like, what the hell is going on? It's like, we're going to very specific terminology. It's like, if you played the demo, you'd understand what it is. But basically, the idea is that when you start the game, you are tasked with collecting these eggs that are called ovum. And that's kind of like your main mission. You need to collect these eggs. This is at the very beginning of the game. It's featured in the demo, so it's not a spoiler.
We should explain it all. So the idea is there's something called the Mether. Think of the Mether as Space Mommy. Space Mommy came to this world.
Cosmic Space Mommy.
Yeah, literally Cosmic Space Mommy. You know, this is what Ronnie was trying to bring about in Elden Ring. You know, it's cross-game lore. But she came, all of her eggs were taken. They're scattered all over the place. Some of these people were meant to guard the eggs. Others had just stolen the eggs. Corruption kind of seeps into the world through something known as like the unwelcome traveler. You are a singular special ovum that hatches. You're known as the Harbinger. Your job is to get all of Mommy's space eggs and bring them back together to send them back to Space Mommy.
Yeah. And what we were talking about in the beginning is that the number of eggs that you collect then eventually gives you an ability that allows you to properly traverse through the world. Because in the beginning, they kind of limit which places you can go to so that you don't wander off in areas that are kind of like going to be much harder for you to navigate. So they at the very least want you to pick up some of these eggs, which is why I was asking Cowboy, do we have to do Wheelchair Lady Zone? Because that gives you a ton of eggs. But Cowboy was saying, no, if you cleanse enough beacons, which are kind of like your bonfires, if you cleanse enough of those, then you'll get enough eggs to go wherever you want without necessarily needing to do the thing. That is very interesting to me because I kind of want to do it like that now.
Yeah, no, it's fun. So at the start we have the initial fast travel at the start is you getting skeleton catapulted to the destination. And initially you can only go north. You can only go into Feynweld. Once you get, I want to say it's either 3 or 5 ovum, but once you have enough that you receive the light, you go back to the skeleton launcher. That light beacon allows you to cleanse the corruption. So now you can go south to Mammon, but more importantly, you also unlock what's known as Mother's Breath, which allows you to freely travel between any beacons that you have found in the world. So it's like getting your Lord Vessel within the first like hour and a half of the game,
see,
which is huge.
The thing is, the reason why you said Elden Ring, and I do agree that structure-wise it feels a lot more like Elden Ring, but the reason there's something in this game that evokes much more Dark Souls energy, the original Dark Souls 1, rather than Elden Ring. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's
the thread of the world. It's the thread of the world. It's the way that Dark Souls likes to be like, oh, you didn't know that there was going to be a barrel that rolled down these stairs that killed you? Oh, tough shit, idiot. Hopefully you learn next time. This game does that. It does a lot of that.
It's not.
It does a lot of cheeky.
It does.
Better learn to be better.
It does do some stuff like that, but it's not just the thread of the world. There's something about the exploration of it that and it's strange because, you know, you and me, we've both played like God knows how many Souls likes, right? It's kind of like our bread and butter, that, and for me also Monster Hunter for you as well. So it's like, but we've done a lot of Souls likes, and I haven't had one that gave me as much of a Dark Souls 1 feeling as this one, which it's weird.
I think Lords, honestly, people knocked it, but Lords of the Fallen, dude, the reboot they did, I thought the world interconnectivity in Lords is
also very good, yes. But the thing is, Lords of the Fallen gave me Soul Reaver vibes because of the dark world thing.
Oh,
so it's like, see, in my brain,
so I never caught that one.
Yeah, but it's like, so in my brain, Lords of the Fallen is like giving me off the Soul Reaver vibes because of the whole world shifting mechanic that it has. And this one just keeps sending me back to Dark Souls. I don't know what it is about it, but there's something to do with the way that you do exploration, the way that you navigate through the maps, and the way that I just feel lost all the time in a good way. Like I'm going through the world and I'm like, I don't know if I should be here, but I'm just going to keep exploring because like I'm not necessarily following what the story is saying, but I'm still getting stuff done. And I like that. So like, for instance, one of the first things that I did was I would go in and I'd be like, okay, I think I want to be able to get this shell. And you can go to Shell Mommy and you can be like, Shell Mommy, I want to know where this one is. And then Shell Mommy marks it on your map. And then you're like, okay, so I have to go there. And then I'd be constantly trying to go to different places. And then you also have the other guy that's in the store. He's selling maps. And you'd be like, oh, I want this weapon. And then he also marks that on your map. So rather than following the story, I'm like, no, I want to go get this thing and that thing and the other thing. And then through doing that, I will eventually get some of the story done. But my main objective has been kind of just like explore more so than do story, which is
yeah, I ended up I purchased all of the maps from bro.
Oh, and then you just had like a bunch of stuff on your map basically just showing up, and then you could pick and choose which weapons you're going to get. I mean, you're going to get everything because you're going to work on doing a walkthrough anyway. So for you, that was important. But yeah,
I mean, maybe I don't know if I'm gonna. I want to.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of games coming out.
There's too many games.
Yeah, to be able to focus on just like a single walkthrough. But yeah, so we talked about the exploration. The exploration is absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the best things about this game. I really like the amount of freedom that it gives you to just like tackle the challenges as you go through. I thought it was interesting that you yourself have to mark the dungeons as complete.
Yeah.
Which I know that they've changed stuff around Elden Ring. I forget what it was like in the final version, if it shows stuff as complete or if you're still marking it. Because I was also marking in Elden Ring as I was completing dungeons, but I think they changed that. I'm not 100% sure. But
I like it because you can, you like, let's say you wander into somewhere and you're like, I don't think I belong here. You can leave.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go through something and you're like, okay, I got the goodie at the end. You're completed.
You just go in there and you just check it, and it shows
like
up
as I was in the dungeon, when I found the tar stone or a weapon, or when I found something where I'm like, this is loot.
Yeah, this is likely what they want. Yeah.
Like the one next to the loot guy, or not the loot guy, Baghead. The one next to Baghead. I went in there and there wasn't really like anything crazy. And I'm like, are you done? And I was walking around slapping walls. I'm like, are you done? I don't know if you're done. I think you're done. I don't know.
Sometimes I think the one in that one was probably like an upgrade material, like either some Ventrium or some stuff like that. There might just be, though, because that one, I remember that one was also one that was confused, but that one's called Smuggler's Hideout. So it makes me wonder if maybe there's some more hidden stuff in there. Because obviously you go behind the waterfall.
There might be.
You go behind the waterfall, so that stuff you see. But yeah,
I want to do if I have time, my second playthrough for New Game Plus, I want to do entirely in night mode, because there's a lot of like really goofy, cool shit you can find in night mode.
Doing New Game Plus in night mode actually sounds like a really good, really interesting idea. I wonder if they'll let you keep the candle, or if you still have to go and get the candle before you do the thing.
I think you could start with it. So to explain this to people watching, so the game has. They've taken a really cool approach to the difficulty. So the game has your standard difficulty, as most Souls-likes do. And then if you want it easier, there's something called the Slayer Seal, which basically turns you into fucking Doomslayer in Mortal Shell.
Did you actually use the Slayer Seal? I haven't tried it out yet.
It disables achievements, so I didn't want to put it on. But you get easy mode, so that's what it is.
Yeah, they specifically describe that one as like the easy mode. Basically, the idea is that your ranged weapons deal chunks of break damage, and your character has like a punch or whatever it is, and whenever you punch with that thing, it just like messes monsters up. So the whole idea is, at least that's what I got from it, is if you go with the Slayer Sigil, you don't instantly get to just murder everything, but you're going to have a much easier time breaking enemies and doing visceral attacks.
It turns it into more of a power fantasy up front.
Yeah.
And then you have night mode, which increases health and damage of enemies, makes the game darker.
It's not just that, though. There's supposed to be new enemies.
Elements.
There's
a bunch of different unique stuff. But that's one of the things they said they want to expand a lot more on it post-launch. Right now, they're more focused on like launch balance concerns, though.
Yeah, which they should. You and I have seen some stuff, but like both you and I have kind of broken the game in different ways.
Dude, the people are gonna see my Let's Play and be like, I'm gonna get. It's gonna be Dark Souls 3 over again, where people are blaming me for Fugs getting nerfed. They're gonna be like, yeah, this used to be in the game until Cowboy got it nerfed. This used to be a lot of fun until Cowboy got it nerfed.
Cowboy's like the fun police. Is like, guys can't have this.
Apparently, bro.
I'll be honest though, guys. If they nerf the loot too hard, that might have been me. Maybe, I don't know. But listen, the bug that I posted about the loot, they said it was already fixed. So
yeah, the one last night. So I was telling you I was in a play session last night showing the devs some stuff. And I was like, oh, did I tell you about the Insta-Stagger setup? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh yeah, watch this.
Are you sure? Are you sure this information, you're allowed to make it public before we continue?
I mean, this is going to be after embargo, right?
Yeah, it's after embargo. Yes.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Fine. So yeah, so there's a weapon in the game you get called Hystrix, which is kind of like an SMG. It's a really, it's such a cool weapon because it's this little monstrous grub that you keep in a cage, and you like tickle this thing's asshole and it shits out spines at enemies. And so it's like it's like a biological SMG. It's like something you would expect the Tyranids to have in 40K. Really cool weapon. But so there is so in this game, your customization and your build identity come from these things called tar stones. And you're going to have tar stones that can infuse your weapon with elements, tar stones that'll give you a like active on you special, tar stones that are character passive, tar stones that are weapon passive. It's quite a lot of build depth, which is one of the things I enjoy so much.
It's absolutely insane. Like I didn't even, in the time that I played in the game, I didn't even really have like a full defined build. It was more like, okay, this stuff is kind of working for now. I'm good. Let's just keep exploring. But yeah, I've seen some of the stuff that Cowboy was cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I was running a crit or a ranged crit damage or ranged crit chance setup. And then I also found a thing that was when you crit with your ranged, you would deal 20 break damage per crit. And so I would use the
so basically your weapon became almost as if you had the Slayer sigil, is what you're telling me.
Yes. So I'm sitting there in a Discord call with the devs. And I'm like, yeah, watch this. And I go up to the final boss and I just go, and it's staggering me. It goes, and then I punch it in the face and then I reload. And they're like, and they're like, oh no,
you can't do that. No. That's illegal, sir.
Yeah, literally, like we gotta fix that. I'm like, yeah. I told him, I was debating if I should let you know about this one. I kind of wanted to be the.
See, there you go, guys.
This day one.
Cowboy ruined another one.
Day one. That I'm probably that got nerfed. There's a build for
Listen,
the
you don't
secret.
have to talk about all the broken stuff, probably because you're gonna end up spoiling some things. So let's leave some of the broken stuff in for them to discover or something like that. We'll see how that plays out. Guys, I'm trying to hold him back. He's gonna get everything. But it's like you were saying that most of the builds come from tar stones. It's not just tar stones though. There's the tar stones and there's the shell. Each shell kind of works like its own class. For people that don't know how the original Mortal Shell worked, and if you haven't played the demo, basically, like Cowboy said, you are the Harbinger. So you're this kind of faceless entity, looks like an alien, but it has the anatomy of a human, like a friggin' really shredded human, basically. But like he's grayish, bluish type of looking dude. That is your character. You don't actually create a character or anything like that. You have a preset character. And then what happens is you encounter these dead adventurers throughout your journeys, and you get to use them as shells, and that is where the name comes from, Mortal Shell. So basically you take control of their body, and that gives you some of their unique abilities. So like a couple of the very early shells that you have access to will be Teal. That is the one that was in the beta. And Teal is kind of like a dude that is able to do poison, and then each of the shells has their own
poison,
weapons.
Stealth, ambush damage. He's a roguish archetype.
He's kind of like a roguish archetype. And then each of the shells has its own weapon, but you can mix and match the weapons as you see fit. So like your build is actually going to be down to the weapons that you're using, and that includes both your main weapon as well as your sidearm, which is what Cowboy was talking about.
8 shells, 8 weapons, 8 sidearms.
Oh, so there's 8 of everything? 8 shells, 8 weapons, and 8 sidearms. You know that if you flip 8 sideways, it becomes infinity? That's probably, there's got to be some type of messaging that the devs are doing with that stuff.
Well, maybe. But yeah, 888, and then tar stones. Tar stones, there's a lot, though.
Yeah, tar stones, there's got to be tons of them, because I picked up so many tar stones.
There's a trophy for it that I got.
And there's even, like, the tar stones are also only compatible with certain weapons. So you can't. There are certain tar stones that you will not be able to use with certain weapons, because
you could probably check your Steam. Because there's a find all tar stones achievement. I want to say it's like 60 or 70. There's a lot of tar stones.
There's a lot of tar stones, but tar stones are almost kind of like the gemstones that you would have in other video games, but you can kind of like freely move them about. And then besides the shell, the weapons, the sidearms, the tar stones, there's also shell points that you actually put into each of the shells that unlock different abilities within the shells. Like it'll power up their passive abilities, or it will give them like some type of additional passive that only a certain shell has access to. But basically stuff that defines your playstyle. Now, shell points I thought was really cool because they let you respec those however you see fit. So you don't have to be scared of using your shell points, which is something that I was doing early on. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to play this shell the whole time, so I'm not going to put any shell points into it. Then eventually I realized, wait, I can just respec this whenever I want, so this is fine. The issue
the hard point is it's your glimpse.
Yeah,
because your glimpse is going to unlock. So each shell is going to have 4 levels. Each of those 4 levels has three skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's going to be your build within that shell. But to get all 4 of those rows, you need to spend glimpses to then unlock more of that shell, learn more about them. Glimpses, however, are limited. In the game, there's enough glimpses for you to fully unlock 2 shells.
Only
and then probably
2?
enough for you to sprinkle enough for probably like half of another shell.
So wait a minute.
2.5 shells
That means that me spending glimpses to locate shells is a terrible idea, because you need to spend glimpses to locate shells.
Yeah, I would not do that. I would just come to your boy Cowboy and ask me where they're at.
Exactly. It's probably easier to ask Cowboy where they're at then, because see, I wasn't aware of this. I figured that glimpse would be a much more plentiful resource, considering that you can only upgrade 2 out of 8 shells. Because the problem with glimpse, like I was saying, see, because shell points you can respec whenever you want. That's like the points that you put on the skills. But then the glimpse, which is what you need to gain access to the more advanced skills, that is not refund. At least it wasn't refundable in the review version. We don't know if the devs are doing anything about that for the final version, but in the review version, you cannot get your glimpse back, which that can become a bit of a problem. If you spend your glimpse poorly, you can kind of like end up in a situation where you don't get to use some of the later stuff for your shells.
Well, and this was one of the things I brought up with the devs is I'm like, because you can refund weapon upgrade materials in full.
You can refund weapon upgrade materials? Do you need to spend like gold or something for that?
Gloom. This is so
okay,
you spend gloom. Not only do you get back 100% of mats and gold spent on upgrades.
Okay.
So you get everything you poured into a weapon you can get.
And by the way, because we're talking about all these different currencies, gloom is like your equivalent to souls. So this game, you have souls and then you have gold, and these are 2 different resources. But
gold is for merchants and upgrades. Gloom is for experience.
Yeah, but these are infinitely farmable, so you can just go kill enemies and you'll get more gold and you'll get more gloom. So gloom is not like something that's gonna hard cap you, but glimpse is not infinitely farmable. And I'm assuming there's a limited amount of shell points, but that doesn't matter because you can respec those, so it's not a big deal.
So shell points, each shell has a limit to how many shell points they can fit. Like when you're looking
40?
at them, it might say, it depends. Some shells it's like 36, some it's 44.
Oh,
it depends on each specific shell. But those are directly tied to your overall level. So the higher your level is, the more shell points you're going to have available. Yeah. So like new game plus type stuff, you'd have 45 shell points. Like you get like builds. Like I'm at the point now, I'm mid 60s, and I have some insane builds. So I'm finding all the broken stuff. But yeah, there's a fair amount. But so anyway, like back to what you were saying, the one area that we are forced to commit though at the moment is glimpses. And I was talking to him about it because I'm like, that's the one area people might end up having remorse. And so I was trying to convince him to add a respec. Like let's say you level up teal all the way, like they're probably going to add a consumable where you would forget everything about teal. He would reset back to 0. You would get all those glimpses back, and you could pour them into somebody else. Because it doesn't make sense that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you could
especially because of when the shells become available, right? Because like, think about it. You pick up teal because he's the easiest one to get very early on. They give you the locations of both teal and another one, and you can get those very easy, very early, pretty much for free. And so you get those and then you start investing into them because you're like, well, I need to level up. I need to become more powerful. And say you pour all of your resources into teal just because you're like, well, it's the one that I have right now. So I got to play with this one. And then what ends up happening is you're like, well, actually, I found this other one. It's way cooler, but now you don't have resources to pour into the other shell. That can be a bit of a problem. So you're left with two choices: either upgrade teal and then be regretful that you upgraded teal, or don't upgrade teal and then just play teal with like very little of his skill stuff, which kind of doesn't make a lot of sense until you eventually find something that you like. And then imagine this, because this is very much a possibility. It happened to me in the game. I mean, it didn't happen that I upgraded stuff or whatever, but it happened to me that like I found a shell that I really wanted, and then not even kidding, not even 20 minutes later, I found another shell that was also really cool. And then I was like, damn, imagine if I poured all my resources into this one shell and then I would find the other one and I'd be like, well, crap, now I have nothing. So
was it Miss Big Booty?
No, her was the first one that I got. Because I didn't want it to go get teal.
Can we just add a picture of Proxima's fat ass onto this podcast?
I mean,
because like,
here's the thing. My plan for this one,
I have never seen a protagonist this fucking caked up. Like, I could go back to the Let's Play. When I found her, literally, it was involuntary. I was just like, God damn, she's fucking like,
damn boy.
Like, dude, she's got a thick fucking ass. She thick as fuck. And she's like Predator mommy vibes. I'm like, oh, Proxima, my dear.
So the thing,
they knew who they were appealing to with that character.
So the thing is, my plan for this podcast is to actually have us like maybe smaller faces, if I have enough time to do all this editing. Have us like smaller faces and have footage actually playing in the background. So by this point, they will have been seeing nothing but Proxima, because that's most of what I played throughout most of the game, was just Proxima.
I'm gonna send you the clip of when I first uncovered her, just because I'm like, gosh, thick as fuck. Foaming at my mouth. This is my new main.
Yeah, but like I played a ton of...
She was for a while until I found my boy Aerodream.
Yeah, Aerodream was in the first game as well, by the way. As was
he was my he was my favorite in the first game. I think in the first game at least I was like, he's the best, he's the GOAT.
I forget which one I was using in the first one. I forget which one I used in the first one. I picked one that had like some mechanic that I really enjoyed because it allowed me to break a lot of things. So I forget which one it was. Might have been Solomon. For some reason, I have this feeling that it was Solomon, but I'm not sure.
I don't even remember who Solomon is. You're like, Solomon? I'm like, who the fuck is Solomon, bro?
I just
first game shell.
Heard about him because I've been looking up lore from the original Mortal Shell, because that's the other thing, which is I actually started getting shells. Yeah, I actually started getting invested in the lore of Mortal Shell 2 because, I don't know, this one just kind of like has me more hooked than the first one. And I like the thing that they're doing with the memory system because it interacts with other characters that you see in the world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might have been using that one, but I'm not sure.
Aerodream was the GOAT. He was the one that had less resolve and stamina, but so I would use him with the quick weapon. I used him with Teal's weapon, which didn't cost a lot of stamina, and he just turned into like this unstoppable fucking monster.
I was using like one of the heavier weapons. I forget which one it was, but I think I was using like a big chunky. Was the hammer a thing? There might have been like a big hammer in the first one.
The hammer was a thing. Yeah, that was solid.
That was probably what I was doing. Big hammer, big chunking. I could check, but I'm not going to. I have the live streams and all of that, but yeah. So that can become a problem if you upgrade like a shell that you found you think is kind of cool. You upgrade that thing all the way, and then all of a sudden you find another one. So, but we're talking about this a lot, and this might be something that the devs end up doing something about before we actually get to release. So we'll see how that all plays out. So yeah, there's a lot of dungeon crawling. I found the level design from what I've experienced so far to be really good, but you've done all of the actual main dungeons, like the, what are they called? The gate dungeons?
I have rolled credits. I've done everything.
Yeah. I mean, I rolled credits too.
Not the same way. Not the same way.
Technically speaking, I finished the game. Okay.
This is like you've only masturbated and you're like, technically I've had sex. It's only been with my hand, but technically speaking, I did have sex. Like, not really. It's not really. But
it's kind of the same thing as like you play Nier Automata, you see credits the first time, and you're like, "Yep, finished that game. That was a short game. I don't know what all the fuss is about." But I hit one of those. They have one of those in the game, and I thought it was really funny when I did that. And then the game just ends, and I was like, "Oh, that was."
I would say level design definitely holds up. No spoilers, but final dungeon by far my favorite. Big Clive Barker energy going on in there. Just loved it.
I mean. The first dungeon is Miyazaki's swamp area, so it can only go better from there. Yeah. Hopefully no more swamp areas after that, but yeah.
I don't even think poison's that bad in this game. I think it's pretty middling, all things considered.
Depends on the tar stones that you have equipped and all of that good stuff. So
I just ignore it. I just ignored it and killed everything. It was built different, I guess.
See, I started ignoring it when I started playing the shell that you didn't like.
Oh, him. I mean, you could also just play teal and go for the poison damage heals you set up. Yeah, and just laugh it off.
But yeah,
that's what I like. I like how you can swap back and forth between, because even if you just got tier 1 in shells, the tier 1, which gives you tier 1 would be elemental immunity for every shell, what each shell is immune to.
Yeah.
That's only going to be 1 glimpse. So even if you're just getting 1 point in each shell, you would have that flexibility to swap between them and become immune for certain stuff. Like there's a frosty zone where I went in and I was like, nope, we're going back to Aerodrim because he's immune to being frozen. Pulling out my goat. He's coming back. I'm not get frozen in combat. No, fuck, we are. We're not doing that. And then you also have the stuff where you can, you can. So here's one of the things I really like. The items. So you're gonna find items throughout the world. There's tons of like consumable type stuff, but you have a active slot and a passive slot.
Oh yeah, that system. I'd almost forgotten to talk about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's so cool. But so like taking the mushrooms, for example, the basic mushrooms that you'll find. If it's in your active slot, you can use it for a lengthy heal over time, almost like a big life stone. If it's in your passive slot, it'll gradually heal your HP up to a percentage. But so it's the same thing with elemental resists. The poison mushroom, if it's in your active slot, cures poison, gives you resistance for a short duration to it. If it's in your passive slot, it just passively increases your resistance to poison outright. But so I really like that because as you find more of that particular item, whether it's the mushroom
more powerful,
or Grisha relics or whatever, it becomes more powerful. I think that's a, because think about all the shit we pick up in Elden Ring that just sits in your inventory forever
and does nothing.
Similar, but now it does something, and I'm like, that's such a cool fucking implementation of that. I love it.
You're actually happy to pick up like a new potion or a mushroom or a new consumable item. Whereas
you're like, oh fuck yeah, 10 more and I'll have like permanent poison immunity. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, it's something like that. You're constantly getting upgrades from it, so that feels really good. Like with the, I remember specifically the mushrooms because I wasn't even paying that much attention to it, but I was like, oh, I picked this thing up, and now it says that instead of using the regen thing once, I can use it twice, which makes a massive difference.
You get 2 heals, yeah,
like
double the heals.
Yeah, you just get double the heals than what you had before just for picking up mushrooms.
Have you
really
fought
cool.
any Grishas yet?
Yes, I have fought, and I have freed one. You get the free one in the beta as well. Yes.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I put that in the passive slot. So let me just talk briefly about my broken shit. So if you put that in the passive slot, you get a chance on hit to summon like a shadow Grish. Yeah, the first time I got it, I'm like, close enough. Welcome back, Mimic Tier. Let's go, baby.
Yes, it kind of is.
But so I did that. I have a shit ton of Grishas. I've because I've done everything. So I have like more than 10. So this thing has a very high chance, and it's on hit. So I was using the axe katana, which are double katanas, And I also was using a tar stone that made it so I would go like boom, 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 boom.
And it
So 8 hits through my full R1 combo.
Yeah, to
so
do more
my
hits.
R1 combo had 8, 10% individual chances to summon the Grisha. And so I would get in combat with bosses and just be like boom, 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 boom. Or I'd play Smirt, who can freeze time and become JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and be like boom, 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 and then unfreeze time and there'd be like 5 Grishas and they're like bruh, 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 bruh. And I'm like, I am the Grisha man. You can't stop me. Like, I love the Grisha.
That's getting nerfed.
Honestly, it's the best. It's the best passive. It's so good. It's so much fun.
It is that is definitely one of the ones that I was using. I wasn't using it like that because I'm actually using a big meaty.
You're using
axe.
You're using the active summon with it probably.
No. I was using the passive one. It still summons it quite often.
Yeah.
Like even and it's not even properly upgraded.
I think one of my favorite things, which we haven't talked about yet, I love that there are customized like riposte critical animations for nearly every enemy. I think that's so fucking cool.
And more than one, I think, for at least a few of them. At least the basic ones, I've seen like 3 or 4 different animations with which I've killed them. Yeah.
You know, because Dark Souls, everything, just stab, whip it out, stab, rip it out. And a couple weapons have unique ones, but like, dude, the riposte animations in this game, oh my God.
It's
like
real good.
The tongue guys that they were showing off in the key art on Twitter. Dude, those things, you grab the tongue, yip it out, and then you're like, you're tearing it, and then you're kicking them. I'm like, holy fuck, this is so visceral. I love this.
Oh yeah, I was actually watching some footage today in preparation because I was still taking notes, and I was watching some of the footage, and there was this spider thing that I killed. I hadn't watched the animation for it. I hadn't paid too much attention when I killed it. The animation for that thing is insane because like it's this spider-looking creature.
Is it the one where you rip the spike off of it?
Yeah, you rip like her spike, the spike that the spider has like on the rear end. You rip that off, and that thing is like big and long, like a katana almost. And then you just stab the spider with and kick it away. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, dude, they're so brutal. I'm like, oh my God. There's one, dude. There's this boss. And the boss has big sword. And you like stun it. It's like you kick it in the stomach, grab the sword, you slam the sword into the boss's midsection, and then kick the sword deeper into this thing's chest and send it flying back. And I'm just like, fucking cinema. Like, this is so...
That's the same thing that happens.
There's one, dude, there was one where another sword boss, my dude, this was a bug, obviously. But I'm talking to him and I'm like, yo, did you know you can ledge this boss? And they're like, what? That shouldn't be a thing. And it turned out it was because I was... this boss, you're in this arena. And the lead up to the arena is like long, skinny bridge arena. It's supposed to lock, but because I was on the debug build, I was respawning bosses to test stuff. So the arena wasn't locked or fogged like normal. So
you were cheating.
Well, this is after I beat the game. Like I said, I've been testing stuff for the devs at this point. But so I'm at the edge, boss rushes me. I roll through, fucking shoulder tackle him with Eridim to stagger him. Boss falls down, I go for the riposte. Eridim kicks him in his chest, knocks him down, picks up his sword, fucking heaves that shit into the chest of the boss. Boss was like, "Gah!" And then kicks him in the chest. And because the arena hasn't populated properly, he goes flying off the ledge.
This is Sparta!
Yes. 300 style. And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, did you guys know? And they're like, not supposed to do that. And I'm like, it should. That was the coolest fucking thing I've seen in this game.
should be like the killing blow if you manage to kill it with like a finish and like a visceral. Yeah.
I wish I don't think I was recording. I wish I was.
Kill it with a riposte, just yeet the dude off the arena. Really.
It was I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking good. It was probably the single coolest moment in my playthrough, to be honest.
So An important thing that I want to point out, since people are going to start to play today, and I made this mistake, so I want to make sure you guys don't make this mistake. When you're working on your build, the way that tar stones work is they gain XP when they're equipped. So they will level up as you use these tar stones. They start leveling up. When they level up, you have to go to the Tarstone Forge to upgrade them. I was running around the whole time. Like, they were all leveled up, and I was like, that's funny. I thought these things were supposed to upgrade. They're just like locked, not doing anything. I was like, damn it. Then I was like, oh, I can actually upgrade these. Okay, that's important. So make sure to upgrade your tar stones, okay? You guys can thank me later. But yeah.
The infusion ones are one of my favorite because you get those maxed and you just have permanent elemental infusion. It was really nice.
I don't think I've picked up an infusion one yet. Those might...
There's most of them are pretty late game. Early with the axe, you can find a fire and then curse, but I think they're going to change curse because we were talking about this last night because they're like, well, we can't just let everything use everything because the artists don't have enough time to even do that.
The animation work is it's this good because some stuff doesn't work together because they don't have to do animations for literally everything, so the ones that they have done are very polished. I think that's smart.
But there's a couple we were talking about because I'm like so stasis is a thing. As you would expect from a term, stasis, you can slowly freeze enemies. And the thing that's weird is, like Frost, the Martyr's Great Blade uses Frost, which is a super slow, ultra great sword. Stasis, it gets used by Hammer and also Axtana. And I'm like, listen, why is it that the fastest attacking weapon in the game also gets access to the slow time? And he's like, yeah. That should be nerfed. He's like, but there's like one of the devs on the team that loves Axtana, and he's like, he's not going to be happy about this. And I'm like, this does very much feel like someone was like, stasis. Oh, sure, I'll give it to my favorite weapon, the Axtana. I'm like, this absolutely feels like somebody just wanted their weapon to be the most broken shit possible.
Imagine like me being in the monster team, just going like, yeah, you know what we need, guys? A third Wyvern Fire, bro. Like 2 Wyvern Fire, it's just not enough. We need a third one.
Literally that moment. What if the fastest attacking weapon also froze the enemy's movement so they couldn't fight back? Like, no, it does not. I'm like, it does not need that. Let's be honest here. It doesn't need that.
Dude, you are not doing yourself any favors. There's gonna be so many angry people in your comment section.
Honestly, though, like all jokes aside, this is like, I feel like I play these types of games so much, and I've gotten such a better feel for like when something is too OP versus like just the right amount of OP.
I agree, because like sometimes if stuff gets way too OP, then it kind of breaks the experience. Like I broke the game using a weapon as well. You told me you didn't mess too much with this weapon. I don't know what they're going to do with this weapon. I'm super curious. It is the loot. Now, when I saw the loot, I was like, this looks like it'll be really fun. In my actual playthrough, I don't know if
I can tell you, confusion's being reworked along with stasis, because you can, like, the way you're perma-confusing enemies, that's not supposed to be. It's supposed to work on basics, not because you could confuse bosses with it.
Yep.
And they're like, that's not intended. So certain enemies are going to get baseline resistance to it. Same as stasis. They're making it so certain enemies can't be permastasis anymore. But
the thing about it is, I hope that they fix it and they make it playable and they make it upgradable, because that was one of my biggest disappointments. I was like, oh man, I want to go upgrade my loot. You could, in the build we were playing, you can't upgrade the loot, and I was like,
pretty sure my loot is upgraded.
Do you need anything special? Because like I went to the sidearm upgrade thing and there was no option to upgrade the loot.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
You were playing a different build than me, though. So
I am.
Maybe
I'm going to boot the game up and check real fast while we're chatting.
But like what the lute does, basically, a lute is the musical instrument. And because you guys already know, in Baldur's Gate 3, I played the bard. I was messing around with the lute in there already. So I like the idea of my character having a lute. So I was just like running around, just like playing the lute. And then I would do the special attack that the lute does. And what that does is it confuses enemies. So what you're able to do oftentimes, at least I was able to do this a lot of times, I would go, you'd have like a pack of enemies, and because you've played the game, you know which one of those enemies is the strongest one. So you lock on to that one, you just be like, blang, and you make him fight the other ones. So the strong enemy kills the other enemies. And then if there's two strong enemies, you'll just do it on both of them, and they'll just kill each other. So it's really, really powerful. I'd be running around with no health potions, no health, and still killing a bunch of stuff by getting them to kill each other. So that aspect of it was already, it's a ton of fun, but it feels like maybe something needs to be done about it. I don't know what they can do to, limit the way that the effect works or whatever, but it was really fun. The problem was I would get the bosses, and what it does is when you're attacking something with it that doesn't have any enemies close by, it will do stagger damage. So I would be using it to deal stagger damage on bosses, but sometimes other enemies would path close to the arena. And so the boss would aggro the enemy in the arena, and it would basically just break the boss. I could just go in and just like slash him up. Boss does nothing, kill boss. So yeah. And when there's stuff like that, that is obviously stuff that I feel like should get fixed, in my opinion, because I think that'll make the game more fun for everybody. But yeah, it is what it is. So in terms of, we haven't even talked that much about the art style. I feel like they've really nailed a unique art style. Are they using Unreal Engine for this? I forget what engine the game is on. Do we know?
I think this is on Unreal, but I'm not 100% on that.
Let's see, Mortal Shell 2. Seems Unreal Engine 5. The first game used Unreal Engine 4. So the game,
they actually they do a good job with their,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If this is an Unreal Engine 5, like they've done a really good job, because it doesn't instantly, at least to me, it doesn't instantly give you that vibe of like, oh, it's an Unreal Engine 5 game. Because you can usually tell. There's a lot of games that you go into and you look at the visuals like, oh yeah, it's Unreal Engine 5, obviously. They've done a good job with their art style at differentiating it enough that it doesn't feel just like another Unreal Engine 5 game. And not only that, but at least in my machine, I haven't had any performance issues. Now I am playing 4K with FSR set to quality. So, it is kind of like doing the whole downscaling, the usual stuff, because we're all using DLSS and FSR nowadays. That's just something that I've come to accept. I haven't tried it without, but throughout the whole time, it's been 60, above 60 the whole time. How's that been going on for you? Obviously, you have a god tier rig, though. I have a 7900 XTX.
I'm trying to...
I'm not bottlenecked by my processor, but how about you?
Only getting 211 FPS.
Fucking guy. You're using DLSS though, I would imagine. With frame gen.
Here, I can turn it off. I will turn. Well, but I have the render resolution set to native.
Oh, okay, so wait, you have native anti-aliasing?
Here, I'm gonna do native anti-aliasing. I'll turn off frame gen. With frame gen turned off and native anti-aliasing, I am sitting, just run around a little bit here. Between 130 and 140.
I mean, you are on a 5090, so that is to be expected, but you were running on 200 earlier, which is friggin' insane. So I would imagine they've done a good job at optimizing it. The problem is obviously our
the fact I'm getting above 100 without frame gen, to me, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that is definitely a good sign. But as per usual, we do have content creator rigs, which are
streamer rigs.
They're above the average, so it is what it is. But I'll be interested to see what it looks like when it actually releases and we start getting the reports in from people. Because obviously people are going to play it on weaker systems and whatnot, and that'll be interesting to see. But so far, I was actually positively impressed because I was able to just like play through, no real performance hiccups pretty much anywhere. So pretty good on that.
No, my only problem was collision bugs, which all those are they're obviously working on all that, getting that stuff all fixed up.
I've seen some of the stuff later in the playthrough, not in the beginning, but later in the playthrough, I started seeing the stuff you were talking about, the Grishna being summoned inside of walls and stuff like that. Yeah. that starts happening. Yeah, there were some bugs still there that they need to iron out. But like, in terms of just like the visuals and art style, I think it's really, really good.
The art style is fucking crazy good. I love just how, like, because Dark Souls is always been very grim dark.
Yeah.
But I feel like they crank it even higher here. Like some of the the monsters and shit you start fighting, especially as you work your way towards the end. Just crazy designs. Crazy designs.
Yeah, some of the stuff is insane. I'm also very curious as to what the stuff is that we're going to be seeing with night mode, because obviously that's also going to. I believe that they specifically mentioned that night mode's supposed to also have new monsters that you don't get to see during daytime, so that'll be something that I'm curious about as well. But we haven't really gotten to test that one yet. Yeah. But that one will be interesting too. So they've done a really good job visually speaking. In terms of audio, it is phenomenal. The sound effects, I don't know too much about the soundtrack because it's fairly muted except when you're in boss fights, and when you're in boss fights, just like that slow down.
Yeah, no, the music that we get is good, but
yeah, it doesn't
stand out.
Yeah, it doesn't really blow my mind or anything, but the sound effects, those blew my mind.
Yes, like sound effects are on point.
Combined with the impact vibe that you get from this game, like we were talking about in the beginning, like you get really good sense of impact, really good animation work. The sound effects really do a good job of selling those animations, particularly during like the riposts and all of that stuff. It gets pretty wild, which is something that I really, really enjoyed.
I like honestly the loot jams are pretty good.
Loot what?
The loot, the jams with the loot.
Yeah. Those are also very good. That's one of the reasons why I really liked having it as my sidearm. By the way, did you check? Did you have yours upgraded or no?
It was not upgraded.
Yeah, I don't think you can upgrade it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you can. I was getting stuff mixed up.
Yeah, because I checked it and I wanted to upgrade the loot. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not sure if I want to be using it when I actually do the stream playthrough. Because like obviously I'm going to use it to play a couple of tunes, but then I'm probably going to be done with it just because of the fact that you can't upgrade it. I want to be able to upgrade the loot. I wish they would rework the loot so that, you know, it's properly balanced as something that you can use, and at the same time it's something you can upgrade and you can take with you throughout the whole playthrough, because it's just such a fun thing. It's because you're fighting and then suddenly you pull out the loot, like bam, and then stagger damage shows up on the enemies. I think that stuff is fun. I thought it was cool.
For a while I used the Trebuax. I think you'll like that when you find it. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. And then once I got the Hystrix, just something about little monster in a cage, dude. I was just like, I just realized I never turned on my fucking key light. Hang on.
Yeah, you were a little bit dark, but it's.
Why didn't you say anything?
I don't know.
There we go.
Hey, look at that! Yeah. He has seen the light.
I gotta reinstall that.
It's all good, but yeah. So I think overall, this one, my biggest concern would be if it would fall off gameplay wise later in the game, because like I said, I only played the first major dungeon, then I explored the crap out of everything around there, and I played like 4 of the 8 shells to get like a vibe check on those, and I think the one that you don't like is still my favorite one. I really like that shell. That shell is so much fun.
My problem is the punch. The punch is
it's very dangerous. Yeah, it is, because
the punch.
So the shell that I like, guys, what he does is, number one, he doesn't have potions. So what happens?
Yeah, he's an exploration shell.
Yeah, he is. He's excellent for exploration. He's the best shell for exploration, maybe. I don't know, but it felt like the best one, because when I got him, I was like, I can go anywhere. I can do whatever I want, and nobody can stop me because I just need to kill stuff and I get my potions back. So you don't get potions. Instead of that, you have like these things. Basically, your character eats the hearts of your enemies. And so you kill enemies, then you eat their hearts, and then you're constantly regenerating. The healing of it though is weaker. And then the other thing that he has is he has this falcon punch that he does. He just like goes back and like punch. The problem is that if enemies do like a stronger attack, you get knocked out of it. So it's kind of wonky to try and use it. So it feels more like, okay, the enemy is kind of like staggered. I'm going to use it now. The problem with that was I think I upgraded it and the axe swings were still dealing more damage than the punch. So it made no sense to use the punch because it doesn't add like stagger or anything. Just kind of like sends the enemies flying sometimes if they're small enough. But I don't know. But I just like the idea of punching enemies midway through fighting them. I thought that was cool. I would prefer shield slamming, but we don't have that. So
yeah, if the punch tracked better, and you got so part of my problem with him is the default is 3 hearts. Those hearts heal less than your regular hearts, understandably, you know, because you can replenish them. You have an infinite amount of them, so it makes sense. But at the same time, there's a perk where you will start with 3 and you'll go into the boss fight with those 3. But if you want 8, you're going to have to go, basically if you die at a boss, you're going to have to go around the map and you're going to have to kill shit and farm up hearts before the boss
in order to be able to, that is one of my concerns as well. But
it's a tedious thing. It's a tedious thing. That, and then the punch not tracking, if you full charge it, it tracks, but that's full charging.
Yeah, it takes a hot minute. Yeah. But there's a lot of fun shells. I don't want to spoil too many of them because I want people to kind of just like find them on their own.
I'll spoil them all.
I bet you would. You already talked about Aerodrim, which is your favorite one, with his shoulder tackle and the other thing.
Well, he's early though. He's Aerodrim, Proxima, and Teal are your early shells. So I think it's fine to talk about them. Those are all.
Dude, I'm still saying that getting Aerodrim. I'm not saying how to get him, but like getting Aerodrim is going to be rough for a lot of people, okay? Myself included. Like I would have probably have to be, if the boss didn't end up glitching and I'm like, well, I'm curious, I want to see what happens and I'm going to restart.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, you clapped his cheeks. I know. Yeah.
I clapped his cheeks. Just walked in. Isn't it just one of those basic fucking halberd knights guarding him?
No.
Are you sure? I think it is.
Absolutely not.
Hold on. I'm looking at footage.
I'm 100% sure it's
I'm looking at it. I think you were getting bodied by a halberd knight, bro.
No, I promise you it's not. It's something else. And I don't want you saying what it is. I want people to see it for themselves. But
I'm pretty sure it's a basic enemy.
It is not. I guarantee you it's not, because it was one of the last things I did. So I know exactly what it is. Unless there's a different way into that room, which I didn't find, which I doubt. But if there is a different way into that room, that would be that is the warden. That is a. I told you not to say it. I specifically
the name doesn't give anything away. The name is not a spoiler. That's when people are like, "Oh, did you fight Skithlebloff, the perpetrator?" And people are like, "Why would you spoil that? You don't know what those fucking words mean. You don't know what those words mean. What does the warden mean? It could be a fat guy. It could be a skinny guy. It could be a guy with armor. It could be a guy waving dildos for all you know. It's a name.
Stop.
It's a name. And he is a basic enemy in Mammon. So my point is, you were getting your cheeks clapped by a basic. No, you were getting your cheeks clapped by a basic knight.
Shut the fuck up.
Basic knight. Get good. This is 100% skill issue. You was getting clapped by a basic enemy. I parry the fuck out of those things. That's why you weren't parrying, were you? God. You weren't parrying, and you were like,
now you're making me spoil this fight. You can't parry it because all of his attacks are unblockable. They're the red attacks, everything. I'll show you the footage.
You can parry him.
No, you can't.
Skill issue.
I promise you can't. It's the red attacks, the ones you can't parry. It's the ones you have to dodge. He does like 10 of them in a row. I'm
Let
not
me
even
go.
joking.
I'm gonna go to my fight here. Let me see.
This fucking guy. Oh my god. But yeah. So overall, my overall vibe on this is an easy recommendation because like my biggest question is I really enjoyed the beginning of the game, which is what I've played so far, like I said. The first major dungeon and all of the side content that I've been working on, playing around with different shells, all of that stuff has been brutally enjoyable, trying to figure out a build, putting together the tar stones, the upgrades, trying out different weapons. It's been fantastic. So my biggest concern was whether or not it was going to fall off later on, which that is something that only you can talk about. So you can tell us about that.
It doesn't fall off. It absolutely holds up.
There you go. So if it
Um,
holds up all the way, I think it's an easy recommendation. One of the things that I don't like though, I hate the 72 hours early access thing.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't like when games do that. I really don't, and I really wish they hadn't done that. But it is what it is. That's just something that
the
Ubisoft kind
industry
of
pushes it.
started, and the industry started pushing. It was. I know that the two big ones that usually do it is Ubisoft and Microsoft. Those two push that stuff so much that people don't even bat an eye anymore. So I'm kind of just like whatever. Because the worst part is that whenever I talk about this, people get upset at me. There's a bunch of people that get upset at me, and it's like, you don't understand. I have nothing but to gain from stuff like this because I'll just play the earlier version, and then more people have to watch. It's
Yeah,
I don't like
I'm not
separating the
I'm
community.
not as annoyed by it in single player games because it's like, someone wants to spend an extra $10 to play it early, whatever. It really bothers me in MMOs though, like when World of Warcraft does it, because then it's like, you get, I think the FOMO is a lot worse with something that's an
With
MMO.
MMOs, yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, well, all of my fucking friends are going to be on, and I just gotta, sorry guys, I can't play till next week because I'm broke. Like, nobody wants to say that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't even like it for single player games. Like to me, it bothers me on every game. Whenever like there's an early access period, I don't like that stuff.
It's crazy
It
how
separates the community. That's the biggest issue.
it does. It's honestly crazy just how much things have changed. We were talking about this on Between Levels, how like just back in the day you got so much. Like, were you ever into wrestling?
Yes, I was into wrestling for a
So
period.
we were talking about WWF No Mercy, how like you had so much content in that game, the character customization, the levels, like everything, just in that little cartridge. And like by comparison, these days it's just not, it's not the same. It's not the same. Everything is, it's like that meme where it's like games back in the day, and it's the burger with all the
Yeah,
toppings, and
yeah,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like games burger and then the fries and then the lettuce and then the tomato.
I don't think
Um,
we have a content problem in this game specifically, but the early
no,
access thing.
there is plenty of content, to be
And
sure.
there's no
Um,
content sectioned off, right? I don't think the deluxe version sections anything off. I'm aware of.
no,
There's skins.
it's skins,
Yeah,
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 which
skins.
I'm fine with skins. Let people have
Yeah,
their.
I don't care about that. See, a good example for the one you're talking about is GTA 6. That one does literally that. Like, listen, some people they're getting like half of the patty. That's what they're getting.
Yeah,
The standard version of GTA 6 is like half the patty. It's like the
yeah,
deluxe version that's like the full burger. It's so
that
weird.
one's come up in a couple of discussions, and I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh man. So, from both of us, in case you guys haven't figured out yet, both of us kind of like recommend Mortal Shell. The only holdup would be we have to see how it performs on other people's rigs, because, like I said, our rigs they're
I
pretty
think
beefy.
performance is going to be fine. My
I
thing
think
is
it's going to
like,
be good. Yes, I agree.
if I'm seeing 200 plus with frame gen and still well over 100 without, that's usually a pretty good indication that even on lower end rigs, you're still going to get
Going to be fine.
graphical fidelity that people would be happy with. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So I wanted to also talk a little bit today about another game that both of us have been playing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be finishing this game. Beast of Reincarnation. The
time.
Pokemon people decided that they would go ahead and try to do like an action. What would you call this? Action adventure, probably.
Yeah,
Semi-open world,
adventure.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how'd you like it? You finished it. I haven't finished it yet. I have a lot of things to say.
I gave it a 3 out of 5. I put it in the wait for sale or Game Pass territory type game. I mean, I think my problem with Beast is ultimately Beast has a lot of good ideas. It just drops the ball on execution, and I think a good way to describe it is like the combat's really cool. You only get enough experience points to level up a third of your tree, so you're missing out on a ton of shit. The music's really good. It's really good music. Unfortunately, it just loops near endlessly. There's not enough song diversity. The exploration's really good. It's really fun and lots of verticality, but there's not enough.
It's not rewarding.
It's
that
not
part I
rewarding
can
in any
complete because that
capacity.
part I know.
Yeah.
It's so unrewarding to do exploration in that game.
Yeah. So it's like you don't even want to really. You're just like, oh, I found more stuff to upgrade my more stuff to upgrade my Boera, I guess. It feels like it dropped the ball in a lot of categories.
And that's like on a good exploration run. You're like, oh, thank God there was actually something here, because there's so many times. It's like there were times where you'll fight some of those elite enemies that are annoying as hell, and you'll kill the elite enemies. You go up to the chest like, okay, here's like 3 books and a consumable thing for your dog. And it's like, really? Really, bro? You giving me like, by the way, books, they're not something that's important. Books is like the equivalent of like vendor trash.
Sell them.
Here's like 3 pieces of vendor trash and like a worthless consumable for your dog. Hope you enjoy that. And you're just like, what do you mean? This is terrible.
Yeah, I will say they're working pretty hard to patch it right now. I've seen a lot of like they are actually like they're going at it. They're trying to get this shit patched up and get it to a state that it's better. But as it stands now, it's a Game Pass game. That's it.
I will also say, at the very least, they're not charging you like AAA prices. I don't know how much it costs in consoles.
No, it is 60 base, 70 for deluxe.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure.
I bought it for 54.
Let me
I mean,
see.
54 euros. Maybe they're not doing 1-to-1. That's crazy, dude. That's pretty much unheard of. What do you mean?
Yeah, USD is 60 for the base or 70 for deluxe. I would qualify that as AAA.
Oh, dude, they are so cooked. I was just out of curiosity. I looked up the price of Mortal Shell because I didn't know it yet. It's 50.
Mm-hmm. 50. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you're
Dude,
getting this for 50.
For what we're getting in Mortal Shell 2, I would have expected that to be 70 or something along those lines. Like I didn't even know how much it was going to cost, so I'm genuinely surprised that it's that cheap.
I think if Beast had been priced in at a $30 or $40 for the deluxe, I think it would have been okay.
Maybe, but it's just I still have a lot of other problems with it besides that stuff. Like I know that you lowered the difficulty fairly early on, I would assume. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was I want to say either at Rangifer or after it. I was just like, this is dumb. You miss one parry and you just get you're just dead. Like
Yeah, because like both of us started playing, the game has 3 difficulties. Both of us started playing in hard mode, because usually when these games have 3 difficulties, the open world-ish type games, usually the harder difficulty is where we tend to land. So how did it feel in normal? Did it feel too easy when you lowered it back to normal?
Honestly, it still wasn't really that balanced. If I had to describe it, I don't, if enemies 2-tapped you in hard, they 3-tapped you in normal. So
so you get one more hit. Okay, yeah, that's just
which like really isn't that much better, all things considered.
The experience in hard mode, the thing that was really weird, because so far I haven't lowered the difficulty, so I kept tanking through. And the thing that was really weird is like you would go up to the Nushi, which is the boss, and that's the other thing. Like every level that I've played, I don't know if it's the same until the rest of the game. I've made it up until like was it area 4, area 5, something along those lines. I made it up to the Taurus boss all the way to the end. And then I didn't kill the Taurus boss on stream because I hate that fight. That fight is garbage. Like you can literally throw that in a dumpster and set it on fire.
Oh wait, when you fought Taurus, did he still have ads in the fight?
Yes.
Okay, so they've patched that. Somebody in my comment section was saying that they've removed it so that he doesn't have the ads anymore. Now it's just Taurus that you're fighting.
It's still a piece of hot garbage, even with just him. Like it'll make it easier for you to do the beginning of the fight. That's about it. Because like I got to the point where I could just kill those ads in like 2 hits or something like that because I practiced that fight so much. But that was just a dumpster fire. But anyway, I got to that point, and every zone that you go to has pretty much the same the same progression. So you go in and you play a little bit, you explore a little bit, then you find the Nushi, then you fight the Nushi, you kind of like repel it, and it goes away, and then you explore the level some more, you do some more shenanigans in the level, and then eventually you go to the Nushi's lair, and you kill it. Then you go to the next zone, and you repeat this. And then you go to the next zone, and you repeat. And it's literally always the same thing. All the levels that I've done. There's one exception where like the what is happening is the same, but there's another monster that's killing the Nushi before you. So instead of fighting the Nushi, you fight this other monster. And instead of fighting him once, you have to fight him like 3 or 4 times or something along those lines.
3 times.
3 times that you have to fight him. So it's just like so formulaic. And
it didn't. I really didn't like the boss when I think it was about halfway through the game, and you just fight Rangifur again, and it's like one for one.
I didn't even know that happened. When you told me that, I was like, I definitely don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, why didn't we just kill this? It was like Rangifur and then a new boss, and then you fought Taurus again, and then you fought what was it, Brad or whatever? Not Brad.
So wait, does it still have the thing? And by the way, here's another trope that this game does on literally every boss. You kill the boss once, boss resurrects. Phase 2.
Yeah, that's and then almost every boss has a phase 2.
And then if you wipe, you go back to phase 1. And it's like, you need to understand, some games do this for like a couple of bosses, and that's fine. I mean, there's games that do it for every boss, but in this game, every single boss has a second phase. So you always have to deal with that.
Well, except for the dude that you got to fight 3 times. I don't think he has a second phase, does he?
I think it does.
I want to say he does. I think it's
it does.
Because you have to fight him and Nue at the same time. So I want to say it was like when you beat one, you beat the second, fight is over. That's what I remember at least.
It might be, but I don't remember it all that well. But see, that's the thing about that fight too. I think that fight sucks. And I've seen a lot of people tell me, no, it's fine because they swap the target automatic. And I'm like, you say this like it's a good thing. Like swapping targets is like a good thing. What do you mean? This is a combo-based game. You have to go like 1, 2, 3, blade art, 1, 2, blade art. And you're going like 1, 2, swap target, blade art, goes away for nothing. And you're just like, what do you mean? This is dumb. It's just dumb. It makes no sense. So I hated that fight. I beat it. I hated the fight after that. The first time I fought him, because the next one, Taurus, is kind of like a Madeir fight where he just like runs away all the time, comes in, hits you once, runs away, and you're just like, again, combo-based game. I have to hit the boss 3 times to do a blade art. I can't even hit him once before he runs away again. This is abject misery. It's just a miserable experience. I don't understand.
I think there's just too many questionable decisions. I think honestly, what I think the biggest problem, what it felt like to me, it feels like they didn't go through any like user testing or like QA properly. Like, you know how like a lot of games before your game launches, ideally you want to have a couple people, you want people to play through the game. You want people to give you genuine feedback, whether it's going to be like, hey, this doesn't make sense, or this felt too easy, or this felt too hard, or the story here is a little bit confusing. I don't think they did that, because like so many of the problems Beast of Reincarnation experiences are very obvious, very upfront.
Yeah, and very, very early on as well. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just kind of one of those, like, that's like, you know, I feel like this isn't a, like, you know, me as an individual, I have problems with this game. It's like they're very like almost unanimous across every review was like, yeah, the pacing here is fucking weird. Yeah, the exploration isn't rewarding. I think they're very on the nose problems, objective. You go as far as to say objective problems with the game that we're just not fucking noticed. I don't get it, dude. I don't like these so many. This game could have knocked it out of the park if they had just gone through a couple feedback cycles and cleaned it up.
Because it has like good animations. It has like a good structure to its combat, like the way that the combat works and all of that stuff. It actually works. It's pretty fun to do the combat.
The combat is fun. The combat, I was mentioning it to a buddy. It feels like you know, because I was watching Demon Slayer Infinity Castle and how they have like the breathing styles and shit. That's kind of what it feels like. You're going through these moves and then you're like, oh, Doku Rezi, eightfold blade, and you're executing, and you're going through all your shit. That's a good feeling. That's a cool feeling. But it doesn't, like, you don't even get enough points to fucking expand on any of this shit.
That was the other thing that I found too, because I was playing around with the skill tree and I had to like change everything because of the Taurus boss fight, because you know that's kind of like I find that one, if you're playing in hard mode, that's going to be one of your first checks where it's like, okay, if your build is not like giga optimized, this is going to be the thing that kind of walls you. So that's when okay, I'm struggling here. Let's look at this build. And that's when I started getting into like trying to min-max the build. Because up until that point, I was like, oh, this thing looks fun. I'll use this thing. This thing looks okay. Okay, I'll use this, and it's whatever. And it was working fine. Then I got to Taurus and it's like, okay, this is becoming a problem. So then I went in and I'm like, okay, let's look at this. Let's see what I can change. I started changing stuff. And the way that the UI works for that thing is actually not very good. Because you're like, oh, I need to put points into this to then go all the way down here. Then there's this thing that actually tells, you know, you look at it at a glance and like, oh, this is the range tree. This has the thing for ranged skills. But then if you actually start going deeper into it, it's like, no, there's actually a lot of really important stuff that I have in here that has nothing to do with ranged skills. And I really have to figure all of this stuff out, because then this connects to the stats. So you have to basically go and see, okay, where do I want to end up here? So that's going to require me to go to the other screen and then put like 12 points into this stat. Then I go into the other screen and you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude, why is it so
it's not
weird? And then you have to go to the top section. That one has your skills. And then you have like reach and like skill speed, and it's stuff that is barely even noticeable in the game, and it's just so weird.
The speed too. Like, I don't want to put points to have a
skill come off like faster.
12.5% fast. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Because like the thing is that speed upgrade needs to be the difference between, okay, now I can get this skill off before the boss can punish me, and I don't think it's ever going to be. I think you're always going to get punished.
Speed, that shit needs to be like 15, 30, 45. I need to come out fast. The fully upgraded skill is like 18.5%. Like that ain't making the cut, Chief.
That's not gonna, the thing is, that's not even gonna make a difference, because like the objective of being able to use speed for skills is like, okay, so if I use this skill now, the boss is going to be able to punish me because the opening is not big enough to use the skill. So then can I invest in skill speed to the point where the skill can be fast enough that I can do it without getting punished by the boss? And the answer is no. You're still going to get punished. So what's the point of skill speed? It's like, I'll do it slower. It doesn't make any difference. I can only do it when the boss is downed or something. So
my problem, so I did, after I finished the game, I was like, just from a mathematical standpoint, I was like, I wonder how many skill points you would need to max out the trees. Because, you know, you have Emma's whole tree.
But I don't
and
think you're
Ku's whole
supposed to
tree.
max out the trees. I'm okay with not maxing it out.
But here's my problem though. So following the flow of this game, we are absorbing Nushis. We're supposed to be getting more powerful as we absorb the Nushis. So we're leaning into a power fantasy. We're becoming this omnipresent, warrior that's meant to take on the Beast of Reincarnation. From a mathematical standpoint, we only get enough talent points to get 25% of the skills, roughly, total across Emma and Ku. That's super fucking limiting.
Wait, it's not even 25% for each?
No. Like, it takes basically to fill up the entire skill tree would take close to, I want to say it was like 6,000 skill points. And in a single playthrough, you would earn a total of around 1,500.
Oof. Damn. That is rough. I wonder if I'm getting...
So like here's my problem. So with Emma, for example, I got her 3 roots, her 3 root categories. I made it to the bottom in each. I didn't get the multi levels.
Yeah, but the thing
I didn't get the varying stages of anything.
You can't get how should I put this? In a hard mode, I think you're really going to struggle if you're just putting stuff in the root trees and you're not putting stuff in the skills.
Yeah, up in the branches, I picked 1 blade art that I maxed out. And then a second one that I got just one part of it. My Ku, in terms of points for Ku, I had enough to do 1 root and nothing in the branches. And so I basically had 1 root for Ku, 3 root.
Yeah, but see,
bare minimum for Emma.
See, that's gonna then you if you have nothing in
skill.
If you have nothing in Ku's branches, that means that all of his like the skills that choose whenever you stop time, the ATB.
Ku was there for fucking utility. Yeah, he was there for utility.
Just
that's
worthless.
It.
Yeah.
But that's my point. You don't get enough skill points to really lean into this. I'm supposed to be getting powerful enough to fight the Beast of Reincarnation. It sure doesn't fucking feel like that.
I definitely
like the stat points are just arbitrarily held back. And then the same thing, the ironic thing is money felt the same way, because we spend our money to upgrade like our bow and our crossbow.
I didn't upgrade ranged weapons. I gave up on that.
I was upgrading them. After you get the Buera fully upgraded, all of the additional upgrade mats you find, they just convert to gold. So you have you would think an excess of gold overflowing.
Still no.
Suffers the same problem as the XP.
See,
you don't have enough. You don't have enough to upgrade all of your like. My ranged weapons themselves are almost barely upgraded. I would focus on just the amount of elemental bolts and arrows I could use, and even then, I didn't have enough to.
Oh yeah, you mean the ammunition? The ammunition
yeah.
and weapons. Yeah, I didn't upgrade almost anything of that because it didn't really feel like I should, to be honest. Because I was like, man, I'm barely making enough to upgrade a couple of different blades. And this was with me exploring everything. Like if you go to my stream, I would be finding all the secrets. I would be going through different nooks and crannies.
Borderline. I would have had like a 98% playthrough of this game in terms of how thorough my exploration was, which makes it upsetting that you can't.
That it wasn't rewarding.
Upgrade. It wasn't rewarding, and my skill trees, I still felt very underpowered. It just, I don't know, it left me disappointed more than anything, which I think is the worst thing a game could do. Because when a game is like, when a game is bad, when it's outright bad, it's easy to just be like, it ain't fun, and walk away. Like Echoes of Aincrad. I was just like, this is too disappointing. I'm done. Relic First Guardian. Within an hour, I'm like, this is bad.
Dude,
walked away.
I had that game on my wish list because I had seen gameplay of it like friggin' 5 years ago or something like that. It was something ridiculous. It was so many years ago. And then I was like, damn, this thing came out. And then I watched your video and I was like, what the fuck is this camera angle, bro? What are you doing? You can't afford like a little bit of zoom out because it will show us how much trash the game is. I was looking at the animation. I think that angle is specifically chosen to hide the moving animation of your character, which looked atrocious.
Yeah, but then you get something like Beast of Reincarnation where there's really good ideas, and like, I mean, looking at it from an outside perspective, Beast should have been a complete knockout for me.
Yeah.
Japanese aesthetic, parry central combat, a ATB with a Sekiro-esque inspired system. Like, it was going down the list of shit Cowboy enjoys, and they just dropped the ball, and it makes it more disappointing for me personally than things like Echoes or Relic, because those games, it's easy for me to just be like, these aren't fun, and shrug it off. But Beast, it hits harder, because I'm like, man, you had fucking
there's a lot of, because like, just even thinking back to the combat of Beast of Reincarnation, right? I'm thinking like, I was doing the helm splitter thing, because that thing is just like so powerful. So I'm like, I'm going through, I'm shooting the roots, and then the roots make the little plant, and then I, do the Sekiro thing of hook slinging to it, and then come down with the, actually, sometimes when you hook sling, you get to do the, I forget, because there's a different type of grapple that you can do, but sometimes you can do the thing where you do a slashing attack, then your character jumps up, then you do the helm splitter, and then after that you can do the follow-up to helm splitter now with like roots coming out of the ground and striking, and then you get the blade art for the follow-up of that. And I was like, that's cool, like that's really cool. But then you try doing that, and some rando with a katana goes in, it's like, you're done. You're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
You don't even get to do anything. And you're like, well, why don't you just parry him? Because if you're playing in hard mode, you have to parry these motherfuckers like 50 times before you break. You want to know how many times I've actually broke a gauge on hard? I could probably count them in one hand. I think
the problem is thinking about it more. I think the game has an identity crisis. Like, it doesn't know if it wants to be I'm hard Souls game or it wants to be power fantasy. The game is confused with what it wants to achieve, because the skills and the abilities and the flash that it offers lean towards power fantasy, but then the game itself and the gameplay feels like poor man's Sekiro. Because even Sekiro, when you're in that fucking flow state and you're hitting the parries, you do feel powerful in Sekiro. Yeah. You feel like a complete badass.
And Sekiro is considered by a lot of people as the hardest of what From Software put out, because most of the other games you can kind of like, I can do a different build, and
it's pure, it's skill item,
and Sekiro is like mostly just pure skill based.
Yeah. But you feel like, I'm motherfucking wolf. I'm about to clown on boom, boom, sit down, good stat. You feel powerful.
That's the difference. Like, I'll be going into Sekiro, right? And I'm doing, you're going blade to blade with the enemies, and it actually feels like a proper blade clash. I think that's like the first game that has done an actual really cool blade clash, where you're going like ching, and the opponent blocks, and then you block, and then he blocks, and you're like ching, 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 ching. There's that exchange. It feels really good. But the thing is, when you're playing Sekiro, you can see like, I'm about to break. I'm about to break this guy, and I'm going to give him my visceral, going to get the thing. It's going to be great. And in this game, like I'm telling you, at least in the hard mode, you will rarely get a goddamn break. And it's like,
it takes too long.
You can be in there, and you can tell me like, but you just parry enough. It's like, dude, I'm not going to sit there not attacking, parrying like fucking 20 times in a row and still not getting a goddamn break. Because one parry is hard enough, let alone fucking 20 in a row, because the parry is not as good as Sekiro. Straight up. It's just not even remotely close. And it's, I don't know, maybe that's their design intention. Maybe they're like, no, we want it to be super hard to break enemies. It's like, well, then what's the point? Why am I even going to try to break enemies that can kill me in 2 shots? I'm going to go and I'm going to do Helm Splitter. That's going to stagger them. And every now and then they'll get a hit. I'll heal. I'll go back and do Helm Splitter again. That's pretty much what you end up doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, I was not super happy about Beast of Reincarnation, but it is what it is. I'm excited to check out what is the stuff that you're excited for that's coming in the horizon.
I mean, the next 2 most immediate would obviously be Dawn Walker and Onimusha. Both of those on deck.
I'm gonna be streaming the crap out of Mortal Shell. I got way more addicted to that than I had initially planned, because like I told you, the game wasn't even on my radar, and then we did the beta. That was really good. Now I've played a bit of the final game. That was fucking awesome. Super excited. We didn't even talk about the how much time each playthrough should last, which the devs are aiming for like a 30, 40 hour.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
Let's see. So in terms of captured footage, and obviously there's a decent amount of time that's spent just like dicking around outside of this. But captured footage alone of the Let's Play was 26 hours and 36 minutes.
But that is without any night mode stuff.
Yeah, that's without touching night mode. That's without obviously doing any new game plus. All the time off camera where I'm just doing build tests and mechanic tests. It's not
all
including
of that stuff doesn't include.
And obviously you need to add a like non-casual modifier. Like I play these games for a fucking job. So, you know, your average player
is likely going to take longer.
Yeah, they're gonna take add in a 15-20%.
Yeah, I'm doing Mortal Shell. Obviously, I want to do Onimusha. I want to do Blood of the Dawnwalker, but I'm not going to be able to cover all of this stuff.
I wanted to do even fucking Plague Tale, but I don't think I can.
I'm not super interested in Plague Tale. The other one that I want to do is Crimson Moon. So most likely Mortal Shell,
Crimson. I'll be on Crimson Moon. Well, Crimson Moon's going to be streams for me. I'm probably not going to be doing a ton of guides, but that is a easy. Hey, you want to do some Crimson Moon for a couple hours today on stream? Yeah, sure, let's play. Yeah. That's an easy one. That falls into the same bucket as like Night Rain for me, where it's a stream game. Onimusha, I'm thinking episodes. See, my concern with Dawnwalker, I think Dawnwalker is going to be fucking big.
Yeah, I think it's going to be massive.
And I can't. What am I going to do? I can't let Dawnwalker just take the entirety of September.
It will consume you. It will eat you up and spit you out. So pretty much.
I think what I'm gonna. Well, I have a feeling Onimusha is probably going to be on the shorter side. I think it's. I mean, just given how those games are. Yeah. They're usually pretty close to like Resident Evil style, where it's like realistically you're looking at like 15 hours.
I'm probably going to do streams. Maybe it'll be way longer. I'm going to do streams for everything, and then like do opinion pieces, maybe the odd guide here and there. That's kind of like the plan. But Blood of the Dawnwalker. I mean, honestly,
it also comes down to like when stuff shows up. Because like if I get Dawnwalker this week, and I get Onimusha next week, I'm not going to play with my dick for a week and ignore Dawnwalker. I'm going to get started on it. So. Yeah, that's the reality of content. If something comes in earlier, like, well,
it is what
I'll get started. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I'll get started
now. I'm really looking forward to streaming Mortal Shell, especially with some of the changes that they're putting in. I'm super curious to see what those play like. But that is likely going to be it for this one, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's episode of Kast, do make sure check out Cowboy. There's going to be links in the description. He's going to be covering even more stuff than I possibly can because I'm about to head out. Well, I can't keep saying this. By the time this goes live, I'm already going to be back.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be celebrating Portugal's victory at the WTC. You know, the U.S. is also participating for the first time, I think.
Ooh.
So we have to, at the very least, do better than the U.S.
That's the metric. That's who you got to beat.
But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for now. Do make sure to check out Cowboy, links, subscription, all of that good stuff. More content coming. Subscribe, bell notification, hit the like button. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.